Data is by now everywhere, and the important part is to realize it's from very small data sets, fast moving, in devices, inside the vehicles.
So many players are now coming together. It's no longer one company or two companies coming together. It's many. The automotive industry very much works with deep supply chains.
Yeah.
But the notion of partnering has not always been consistent across the industry. A lot of variations across the different automotive players. But I think what we're seeing now is the true definition of partnership really taking shape, really evolving, recognizing this is not a customer-vendor relationship. If you're really going to collaborate and innovate and transform. So the notion of how you collaborate in trusted relationships is really starting to shift in the industry.
I think one of the things that has really struck me in interviewing CIOs and CTOs over the past few years has been seeing how larger organizations in industry verticals, whether it's finance or it's pharma, how when they work with big technology providers, there's so much co-creation that happens. And quite often that you're both learning a lot from that process. Often even somebody the scale of an AWS is learning as you go along with working with somebody at that level about their needs and perhaps how you're going to tweak your own toolings to help them. Do you think in automotive, is there some changes or some learnings, particularly on the AWS side, that have stood out for you?
Huge.
Okay.
Yes, huge. So the 4 years that I've been here have been just filled with incredible learnings with great customers, and the majority of those learnings have been through very deep collaborative environments. For example, BMW, we have a very long-standing relationship that started years ago in the area of connected car, and that's evolved over the many years around technology capabilities that have been built in a collaborative fashion, where they want us to really build that technology capability that is undifferentiated heavy lifting for them. But in order to make sure we bring the right product to market, the right service with the right features that will meet their needs, we really have to work closely with them.
You work very closely over the industry alliances like Covisa, for example. That's the Connected Vehicle Systems Alliance. And everybody's in there. There's the AWS's in, there's the Capgeminis are in there.
Yeah.
All the partners are in there together, and we are working together to deliver this software-defined vehicle experience. And you really partner, and it's very collaborative. And then the OEMs differentiate themselves. They want to see, what are we doing different in our experience? Let's say a luxury brand vendor from Germany has different connotations about the user experience than maybe a mass market model out of Romania, which has to look at a very tight price point to hit a different segment.
Yeah, and so we do that with BMW, or Stellantis is another one that's very public in the work that we've been doing on Engineering Workbench.
Wendy, there's such a talk of Bedrock and Amazon Q, of course, the announcement there. There's such a fire hose of amazing new innovations coming through from AWS. Is there anything that you found in your conversations more broadly with industry? Is there anything that stands out for your partners? Is there something they're particularly excited about? Any ways they're exploring generative AI that resonate with you?
Yes. So in this industry, we're seeing generative AI being explored, I would say, across the entire value chain of the industry and across all the players, ranging from the experiences that you can bring to customers by developing new functions, new features, new services that end customers utilize. And you can do that by more quickly bringing in data on them and their preferences and their buying patterns and what's interesting them. So you can really innovate faster for customers, down to supply chains. When you think about supply chain challenges, it comes down to a lot of data and the insights from the data and the predictability that you can do, and now real-time decisions, learning from kind of past and predicting the future to navigate and bring efficiencies and agility to the operational aspects. And then even in the software component that we're talking about here, it's clear vehicles are becoming much more software defined, as are many other big industrial products, whether it's robots or aircraft or everything. We talk a lot about software-defined vehicles, but it's really software-defined everything.
Yeah.
And so the ability to speed that software development process up and get high-quality code, faster quality code, it really puts the power in the developers' hands and allows them to really focus on the creativity of what they bring in terms of those new services that drive the customer experiences and drive the revenues for companies.
I have a really cool example. We work with one European OEM where we are taping now the sound of the car. And the reaction is quite funny. You have the sound of the car, and out of that one, you build something called a vector. You vectorize this in MongoDB, and we can see out of the VIN database what we are running, and out of the text search about that model, that there are issues. And then we know, oh, the cylinder head is loose because that is the sound of a loose cylinder head. And now comes the cool part, and then you click just on the button. How do I fix it? All the manuals are sitting in LLMs, and it doesn't matter if it's Italy, France, or whatever language you choose. The manuals are available, and it comes right out with the right page, with the right description. This is how you fix it. This is your spare part list. And the button says, oh, and should I order the following parts? And now comes a cool piece. And now we know there's a failure. And this goes right back into a great cloud database. And then we can say, oh, by the way, meantime between failure on the cylinder head for this model series, we have a problem. Maybe we need to look into this one. This is a loop which was 10 years ago unthinkable. There would have been 5 generations of analysts between that.
Yeah.